I don't know what happened, but we definitely lost the connection somehow. I was live for short. Is that still the same link? I don't know. Let's see. Did the stream go offline? I think so, yeah, something happened. Let's see, my swipe up also doesn't work anymore, does it? On Instagram, because I used the link of the former stream. Yeah, it's gone. So let me redo that. Back to Martin. And yes, I am doing the live stream. Okay, the link, the story before that I just posted as having a dead link because the live stream somehow went offline. We're live again, and the new link is the one that you are going to use when you swipe up to join the live stream. Hey, pretty. So look at that, Xcode just finished. Perfect. And swipe up to join the live stream. Live stream in 2 words, right, pretty? Yes. I am live. Hello everyone, Angel, hey! I sadly didn't figure it out. I still don't know how to solve it. Oh, I think eventually you will. It's, yeah. YouTube. So I'm right now creating a story for everyone to join once again. And I'm posting it now. Post it, great. All right, so what we want to do is, I don't know which one is the most recent one. Two. It has, so maybe that one is a new one. I don't know. If I break something, I'm breaking something. Or we can actually go on and just see. All I want to do is make sure I have my website currently running on a Droplet and Labor Berlin. And those are the two only ones that I want to keep up running, as long as my new website is not online, and this one I want to keep up as well. So let's check where it's at. And then I also have server-side Swift racing, but that one is irrelevant because for some reason the graph just stopped working after 2 or 3 years. And that's fine, I think. So let's just start from top and go into access and launch the console. I have a theory exam today, but haven't prepared for it yet, as I was enjoying coding Swift last night and now enjoying your stream as well. I don't want to be the reason that you fail your exam. What is the exam about? If the exam is about how to set up a droplet on DigitalOcean and Docker, keep on watching. So let's see if that is the password. I don't know. Oh, I think root. I'm sure I have it at one password. There we go. Okay, that was the password to get in. So we're right now on our server at root, and where we want to go is, why am I having the wrong? Let's see. We are at home. I want to go to where I would have my location, my applications. That's gonna be server. No. Where do I have it then? Maybe nowhere. Maybe this is just how it is. Hey Martin and Susie. Michaela, hey! Welcome to the stream. Yeah. She says hey from the background. Are you there again for short, just to say hi? And what are you up to right now? What time is it? Could be that this one has nothing set up yet, it's just Vapor 3. Could be. So that means let's close. I mean, the access is still there. I didn't exit. Let's exit. Okay. Close that, and let's see. We can, if I turn it off. Okay, before I do that, let's check the other droplets. Vapor 3 is checked. Let's check Swift 4.0, 4.2. Access, launch console, I don't know. Am I still logged in here? Yeah, okay, this is how... Alright, this is what I meant. This is where I have my applications running. I don't know where / is. Why is this a number 3? I don't understand. Okay, anyway, let's just go back. Sticking around this time, currently working on my resume. Any tips, Susie?
Any tips? Have someone proofread it.
Proofread it?
Send it to like 20 other people. Make sure it's relevant. Add your tech stack and relevant technologies with each project that you have. And find a lot.
Yeah.
Right?
Structure-wise, I think it was a good structure to have like a sentence.
Yeah, you can show it to them a little bit if you want. Oh, but the phone number's in there.
Yeah, there are some.
Sorry, you guys, we don't trust you.
So, what we found out is a good structure, or is good to read, is when you have, if you list your projects, for example, then you, for example, say project name, you have one sentence that explains what this project is or does, like very human readable for any person. Literally say, I have a game, right? So I name it Momoko, and then I say it's a fast-paced high score game where you try to kill enemies to gain points. Basically that, right? What is the game about? And then have key achievements, and then write in that key achievements basically another sentence that really shows what was your challenge in terms of technology, and then I would write writing a simple AI for the enemy to find and follow and kill the player, as well as implementing something mathematical calculations for the 360 degree say Joy-Con, you know, the directional pad, something like that, more technical. So that's how I like it, and that's how I did it for my projects, for example. I think that really for the projects shows both what it is about, you understand, and then what were the things you actually did that were challenging, and then obviously your tech stack. It's 10:20. That's super late. 3 hours apart. Is there any person that can help on Instagram? Someone that works with Firebase and SwiftUI? I don't know really. I only know that Eduardo, you know him, works with Firebase, and the guy who is doing let's build that app. Let's build that app. I like that Google is just fixing my typos right here. This guy, I forgot his name. Happy February. Yes. He's not having his Instagram here. God damn it. Oh, that was a live stream? Was it? Maybe his normal uploads have his Instagram handle. Tinder, Instagram, there we go. So build that app. You can try reach him. Maybe he will have time to answer, but he's as you can see, super busy too with his YouTube. He will have lots of people reaching out because he's having 170,000 subscribers. Brian, exactly. He never replies. Yeah. I suppose he's just super busy. That's just how it is. Yeah, that was it. All right, we know both our projects are actually at this on the server. What did I do? I logged out. Am I still logged in? Oh, let me see. Can I not? So that's fine. We can just stay, because before we were root, I think. Now we are Martin Nazik again. We can keep that droplet, which basically means we can drop this one. 3 years ago, 1 year ago. Perfect. Destroy. That's gonna be the server-side Swift.racing. We can literally destroy this, so we're also not paying for that anymore. Goodbye. It was nice having you around. Lowering our cost. In the end, I'm gonna destroy this one as well. I just want to have one droplet and have it one project after another running, all in Docker. Basically, the server is untouched. You just pull the project, Docker compose up -d through supervisor D, I would say, and then the project should run. That's the ultimate goal. I can't find an answer. You just have to keep searching. You have to keep thinking. And what helps for me always is, if I have an issue that I really cannot figure out right now, what I do is, in the project I'm having the issue, I'm moving away from the project with the issue, creating a fresh project, like completely fresh with nothing in it, and then I'm implementing the feature that gives me the issue. For example, I had to implement image upload for an app, and I already built a lot of stuff. This app was huge already, and I had lots of dependencies from one file to another to create this image upload, and I had an issue. And what I did was I just put the project aside, created a new iOS project, just one view controller, everything in one view controller, image upload, and I tackled the issue right there. Just super isolated. This always helped me, always. First of all, find errors. If I had some errors, I have to also re-implement the problem to maybe come up with a different solution, and then also more understanding what's happening. It's hard to find personalized help. It's helpful to Google specific keywords for what you're looking to do. It's almost guaranteed you're not the first person to have the issue. Just gotta find the right thing to search. Yeah. Do you use Firebase, Michaela? Michaela, I'm 100% backing your statement. Or baking? Signing. Let's rename this droplet. I don't feel this droplet is having a name that actually tells me what it does. Can I rename it? Where? Recovery, destroy, whatever. What if I go to destroy? This console does not look like it should be here. Select an image, no. Access. Rebuild. Droplets, maybe under more, right here. View, edit. Interesting. Let's go through here and see. Power, turn off. Still be built for a turn off droplet to end building, destroy the droplet instead. Fine, fine. Volumes. You don't have any block storage volumes. Volumes are highly valuable units of storage that you can attach to a droplet to increase its space. Okay. At some point, you know, if I can just increase the, this is anyways, now it's not a dedicated server that I get, it's just a virtual one, so that's what I'm assuming. That's just dedicated CPU. Interesting. Shared CPU. I have standard. Yeah. Which means I can just scale it as I go and need. DigitalOcean has awesome documentations. Rename droplet. Yep, I've used it in small tutorials and currently working on a project using Firebase authentication, database, and storage. Hey, that sounds pretty similar to what Cyber does. Oh great, can you please help? When people create usernames, I don't want identical usernames. I want everyone to have another username, like Steven will only exist for one person. Yeah, Cyber is implementing a social network, and he wants to have, during the registration process, he wants to ensure that the username that was chosen is unique and not there yet in the database. So he needs, before the registration goes through and he creates the dataset in Firebase, he wants to first check whether that username is given. Let's go here. This is DigitalOcean. I've seen other responses. Maybe the user interface has changed since the question has answered. Log into DigitalOcean, click the droplet you want to rename, then on. When you click on the name of your droplet, you wouldn't know you could. You wouldn't know you could. Exactly. You wouldn't know you could. That's not intuitive. Anyway, we found it. Cool. So we want to name it. Say, I don't know, Docker projects Docker environment. I think something like that. What? Why? Do I have to turn it off? Turn it off. Oh. Is the name too long? Whoa. I'm not allowed to have space. That's the issue. Also not intuitive. I can have everything but spaces. Why though? Projects. Let's just use dashes. All right. I think turning it off was not an issue, was not a solution to be able to rename it. All right, let's set it up the way we want. We want to have access. Click on the root password below. We shut the droplet and set a new root password. Thanks. Root password will be emailed to you within a few minutes. I know my root password. I want to set up SSH. You can manage your drop with some password-based logins, but we strongly recommend using SSH key pairs instead. SSH keys are more secure than passwords and can help you log in without having to remember long passwords. I wonder if I could say copy that, you know, and then say SSH root at .ip, and then just type in my password. Come on, takes a little. I'm basically saying I want to access the server at the IP with the username root, and it should ask me for the password for that user if existent, but it's not responding at all. I wonder if it's because of the private IP and I need the public IP, but this one. There we go. Host verification key failed. That's fine. Okay, we're gonna set up the create an SSH key using the SSH client installed on your local computer. This is the way to go. I must have a key pair already, which means I can look it up in my home directory, which we are right now, and then add the .ssh, and we have ID RSA public, so we do have a key already. Add the SSH key to your droplet. On DigitalOcean you can upload your things, which lets you add it to your droplet at creation time. What I like to do is I have the Quiver app, or Quiver, and if you look about Quiver, this is this app here. Uses a lot of open source libraries. That's cool. It's a developer who developed this app for developers as a developer notebook, snippet book. So what I like to do is we can do server. You can create just new notebooks, right? Right click, new notebook, and then I'll call it, for example, develop.ios, Swift UI and whatnot. And in here I have new notes. Nginx, I could just say new, inside here new notebook, and then new notes. And then for example I have notes to get back to. Set up and run Raper 3. I don't necessarily need that. That's gonna be interesting because of setting up Nginx for upstream if necessary. I don't know. We're gonna use Docker and we'll see how to use that. But essentially, server should have, say, set up SSH access to DigitalOcean. And we should be able to do some tags. DigitalOcean, DigitalOcean, SSH. And now I'm gonna, while following the tutorial, also add the steps right here, which is first create SSH key. Upload, how to upload your SSH key is that. This is how to create it. This is the link to it. We can also view it at the same time. You can say source. And now we're gonna say we can use Markdown to write code like so, and we have a good, we can view our notes like this later on, which I like. It's nice readable. Cyber, as Martin is demonstrating, coding is just looking up to how to code. So the utility prompts you to select the location for the key. By default, the key are stored in. That's fine. Because in the default location allows you to place keys when authenticated, so we can accept them by pressing enter. Press enter to store the keys to the default location, which is this one. Once you select the location of the key, you will prompt to enter an optional passphrase which encrypts the private key file on the disk. If you enter one, you will have to provide it every time you use the key, unless you're running SSH engine software that stores the encrypted key. We recommend using a passphrase, but you can press enter to bypass the prompt. Press enter to bypass the passphrase prompt. Like so. This is the last step to create. You now have a public key and private key that you can use to authenticate. That's great. So we got this, how to upload. So next step is gonna be second, upload SSH key to Droplet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Source is referencing the source just so we can always look up there, but in case it's not given, the link is not there anymore, or the content at that link is not there anymore, I'm having a short tutorial right here, or an excerpt of the tutorial. Linux-based virtual machines, yes, that run on top of virtualized hardware. That's interesting. So it's virtual machines on virtualized hardware. Each trouble you create as a new server you can use either standalone or as a part of a larger cloud-based structure. It's fine. After you create the SSH key, you can upload it from the account section in the navigation menu. Select security and then SSH key. This is it. And then we can say we want it bold right here. Select security, bold as well, and then SSH keys, click add SSH key. Cool. Next, copy your public key, which should be and with pub into your clipboard and paste the content key content field. That's gonna be this. It's kind of, I mean, even though I know these things, right, which key to copy and whatnot, I still like to write it down in its full explanation, just so it's there in case. I mean, I don't know whether I will forget at any point. I don't think so, because I remembered this for 5 years already. But it doesn't hurt, and also it's easier to copy paste it for anyone who wants actually to do that too. Yeah, click add SSH key. For the keys to on a secure page, you can use the keys more. Now when you create a droplet, you can automatically embed this key by selecting it in the add your SSH key section of the droplet create page. If I create a droplet, but what if I have already a droplet? Security. Networking snapshot, camera history, destroy text recovery, droplets. Let's see. More precise view usage enable whatever. Navigation, click security down there, and then let's put it over here just in case. I can, I have my SSH keys here. I can delete them because those are the old ones. Delete this one, I think. Delete that one. Add a new one, and now I'm gonna, do I have clipboard somewhere? No. So I'm gonna do that here. id rsi.pub cat, and then you just copy the whole thing into here, and then say MacBook Pro 15 2018. Add it successfully. Now I really wonder how I can say add this to this one. I wonder where this is coming from, this load and whatnot. Is this me? When I try to access it? Power, volumes, resize, networking. Backups, snapshots, kernel, history. Okay, let's see. Add this SSH to your Dropbox and DigitalOcean. You can upload this key, which lets you add keys to a Droplet account. Alright, so that's gonna be create an SSH key. We did that. Add the SSH key to your droplets. How to upload? We did this. Next, copy. Right. And now we want to say add to existing droplet. From your local computer using SSH copy T, which is included in menus, blah blah blah. By SSHing currently can't connect your droplet at all. Use the droplet console to reset your user password when logged in the console. You can either add your key manually from the console or temporarily enable password authentication to add your key via SSH. Locally using SSH copy ID. Let's see, do we have SSH copy ID? We do. And then username at but we don't have a user there yet. It's only gonna be root. I think this could be fine. So I'm thinking right now, is it fine? I know a lot of people would say no, it's not. You should have an additional user to root that only has the rights that you actually need, which is in my case just the say we access the server and then we want to create and execute and read stuff. So create, for example, by pulling from Git new projects, and execute the Docker machine, and obviously read as well. Made it a little late though. Hey Adrian, you made it. Yeah. Welcome. We can do it right. You can try doing it right to future-proof it. So that basically means what we want to do is DigitalOcean create user. The sudo command provides a mechanism for granting administrative privileges ordinarily only available to the root user, the normal users. This guy will show you how will show you the easiest way to create a new user with sudo access on Ubuntu without having to modify your server's sudoers file. If you want to configure sudo for an existing user, simply skip to step 3. So log into your server as the root user. We can do that since we know our password. Use the add user command to add a new user to your system. Be sure to replace username with the user that you want to create. Set and confirm the new password. At the prompt, a strong password is highly recommended. Okay, follow the prompts to set the new user's information. It's fine to accept the defaults to leave all of this information blank. Use the user mode command to add the user to the sudo group. By default on Ubuntu, members of the sudo group have sudo privileges. Test sudo access. So basically creating a user to making all users sudo. I don't see a difference to using sudo right away or root. Test sudo access like so. Ask the user verify that you can use sudo by preventing sudo to the command that you want to run with supervised user privileges. For example, you can list the content of the root directory, which is normally only accessible to the root user. let's keep that in the back. How to add and delete users on Ubuntu. So I want to actually just create a user and give him privileges as we go, as we need them. So that would mean, for example, I want to create on the server, we already have the folder or directory srv, and underneath that I want www, and underneath that all the projects. I want www to be accessible and readable by the new user, and then also that a user can create within that directory stuff. So introduction. Adding and removing users on Linux system is one of the most important system administration tasks to familiarize yourself with. When you create a new system, you are often only given access to the root account by default. While running at the root users give you complete control over a system and its users is also dangerous and can be destructive. For common system administration tasks, it's a better idea to add an unprivileged user and carry out those tasks without root privileges. You can also create additional unprivileged accounts, yada yada yada. Adding a user. We got this. If you're signed in as non-root user who has been given sudo privileges, you can add a user like this. Either way, you will be asked a series of questions. I don't want... You can... By default, sudo on Ubuntu systems is configured to extend full privileges to any user in the sudo group. You can see what groups your new user is in with the groups command. New user is in the group new user. By default, a new user is only in their own group, which add user creates along with the user profile. Explicit user privileges in etc. sudoers. Okay, as an alternative to putting a user into the sudo group, which I don't want, you can use the vsudo command, which opens a configuration file in the system's default. Explicitly specify using vsudo is the only recommended way to make changes to the etc. sudo is because it looks the file against multiple simultaneous edits and prompts. Alright. Interesting. That will only... I don't know why he says it's dangerous to... Oh, maybe because... I see. I think the only difference is here, if you create a new user and put him into the sudo group, then yes, you have the sudo privileges, but in order to execute like more dangerous things, you have to put actively sudo in front, and then you can still do it, but you actively do it by putting sudo in front, so you know, oh, okay, I do right now something that requires root or sudo privileges. Am I doing something that's dangerous? Is it something I really want to? So that's preventing us from doing that. But that's still not really what I want. I'm not even sure if I'm searching for the right thing. Creating user and adding SSH keys. Yeah. So I think it's just about creating a new user, and then from there we can just create a new user, and I think from there we're just gonna go and search for Linux specific say server configurations regarding the user, which is giving him privileges and whatnot. Because in the end, what the user will do is, if I run processes with that user, I think all the processes are limited to what the user can do too, if I'm not mistaken, and that is what secures us from everything else, I think. So So my thinking right now is, for example, if I create everything, the projects and run the Docker images and whatnot, that all these processes might just run under the group or the user that does not have sudo privileges, and then if someone gains access through one of those processes, all they can do is just as much as the user itself, which is not much. All right, let's see. Let's create a user first. So that's gonna be like this. So root add Martin, I have lots of homework. I'm estimating I'll be finished by midnight, the earliest. I have to go, sadly. See you tomorrow. Cyber, no worries. Good luck with your homework. I hope you actually finish them before you have to go to bed. Thanks for joining. Thanks for hanging around, at least. So let me play some music for me too. Open recent Zelda. Set up access to Why would I want to copy that one in here if I have to do that here? Okay, that's for that. For adding to existing droplet. The frick is this? Why is this so big? Oh, there we go. All right, so in your terminal, execute I always use Swift even though it's not Swift. I can also say bash. Does it really change anything? Not really. Username at your IP. So 123.0. I think that's interesting. All right. This is how we're gonna do that. So root add, and let's go to our droplet, get this IP, say IP here. Permission denied, public key. That didn't work. Let's see what this one gives us. That's exactly our point. Path authentication set to no. Oh yeah, because that's essentially what we're doing here. We can permit root login, prohibit password to permit to yes, password authentication no to password authentication yes. So we want to log in as root and we want to use password authentication. So that essentially might be the and that one too. We're gonna do that in a second. So access launch console. waiting for to respond. Let's see, it's gonna be in here. Login root. That is allowed because that's not through SSH, that is through the web console. But we want to be able to actually say, I don't like that my keyboard, DigitalOcean web console keyboard. That's exactly what I have. Thank you, Jonathan. A few things to keep in mind when using console. Use a strict US keyboard. If you're using the international keyboard, we recommend using a non-screen keyboard. Alt tab to switch windows. Yeah. All right. So then let's say keyboard. I think it's in utilities, application. There we go. And utilities, and then no. Then it's under system preferences, keyboard. Also no. There we go. So on-screen keyboard, CD. Whoa, it's still not working. Okay, I would have guessed this is the American keyboard and it would work, but it's not. This is tedious. Because now I have to go all the way up. I mean, it's just one level, I think, here, but anyway. So it was under etc. No, one sec. What do we have? SSH. No, don't show me more. etc, SSH, SSHHD. That makes sense. And then here we can say vim. Yeah, we do have SSHD. No. Config. Whoops. Like so. Config. Vim. And then where is it? Need to go to give my exam, so I would have to leave. See you tomorrow. AJ, see you tomorrow. Thanks for joining the stream and hanging out. This is the SSHD server system wide configuration for C. Whatever, for more information. This SSH was compiled with. Okay. The strategy used for options in the default SSH comes with open SSH to specify options. Uncommented options override the default value. Alright, oh look at that, we can go further down. There we go. Permit root login, yes. And then this is already enabled. And we also need to enable password authentication. Oh yeah, we don't have search here. Password authentication, no. This is exactly what we want to change to yes. Save it. But that's only temporarily. We want to actually, yes, we want to change that back afterwards, because then we're just gonna, you know, log in through SSH using the public key, and I think we won't need any, yeah, we won't need any password authentication anymore. So we did that. Sudo service SSH restart. Okay. Restart. Let's do that. Let's also add this here. Okay. Sounds good to me. What was my error that I got? That was permission denied public key. Now we should be able to do that. There we go, it worked. So now we can say we're logging in. I mean, we could have done it from this web console too. No, we want to do it from here. And there we go. Now it should have added, now trying to log in into machine with that, and check to make sure that only the keys you wanted were added. Number of keys added 1. That's great. File. So like so. We got this. Now it's set up. Now we can say we want to and restart again, just to make sure it's also applied. So we want to do that and say no. Whoa. Return, revert. So it's no again. Save. Restart. Shouldn't work anymore. We can basically exit from here. We can also exit the web console, because now what is all this about? I don't need that. I don't know. Yeah, this sounds like the same article. It is. We got this. Connect to SSH via SSH. So SSH root. This is what we need to do because we only have the root user. However, we are right now, who am I? Martin Nasek. So that means that's the cool thing about it. So what we need is, what we can do is we copy the IP right now, and all we do is we say sudo SSH and the IP, right? It will say it won't work. Permission denied. Why? Because it tried to log in as Martin Nasek at the IP. Why Martin Nasek? Because I am right now Martin Nasek on my own machine. However, I can say SSH root because I know on the server we only have one user root. That's why trying to log in as the user Martin Nasek or trying to find the user Martin Nasek on that server, there is no. So we can say SSH root, whoops, at that IP from our machine here, and that will just give us access right onto them. So we're right now on the Vapor 3 droplet. I don't really like that it's still called Vapor 3, but whatever. So now we are root at the server. Right now we don't need any access, any login, anything anymore. The thing is, I don't want to have root, right? The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add the new user, and the new user, convenience wise, is gonna be called Martin Nasek. It's just a new user on a server called Martin Nasek. Coincidentally, the same name that I have on my machine, so then I can only end up using SSH IP. So it's gonna take my name on my machine, just the name, and try to find a name that is the same on the server and try to log in with that. And that's gonna work. This is gonna make our life super easy in the future. So when I'm on the way with a MacBook, all I have to do is say SSH on the IP, done. And not even necessarily the IP only, but if I start linking the DNS server, or if I create DNS records, say on my domain hoster for say a domain that points to that IP, I should be able to also log in by using that domain instead, which is easier to remember, right, than a random IP number, which is going to be martinnasek.com. So I can then later on even say SSH martinnasek.com, and that should get me right onto the server too. If I'm not mistaken, let's say if we say martinnasek.com right now, yeah, whoops, it won't work. It would work if we set up the domain right. Alright, Next step is we don't need anything from here anymore. Can sign out. Goodbye. Here we don't need anything from here anymore, but we can do upload SSH key. Michaela, gotta head to bed. Nice talking to you, Martin and Susie. Thanks for the resume tips. Michaela, applying to jobs, just apply to all of them. Just all of them, even to companies you don't want to work for, because if you get to the interview point, use the interview just as a training for actually the company that you want to work for. Good night. See you on Instagram and maybe in the next stream even. Oh, and thanks for the mention on Instagram. I just saw it. I will have a look later what the story is about. And the third step is gonna be log into server. Basically, so that's setting up SSH access. Ultimately, what would be awesome is when I get all the setup done, I mean, an easier way, why am I going for DigitalOcean? Let's put it this way. The reason why I go for DigitalOcean is because a droplet is only, I think, $5 a month. So $5 a month, and it has like 1 gig of RAM and 25 gig of storage. That is, a Vapor application takes up, I don't know, 20 megabytes of RAM. That's nothing. We can have by that 50 projects running that are all taking up 20 megabytes of RAM, and only by then, by 50 projects, we are running out of RAM space. Obviously, that's not realistic because project will just, depending on the load and whatnot, use more RAM. But you see what I'm going for. Just for $5, having 50 projects running, that's a lot. Compared to if you go for Heroku, I think what you pay there is at minimum $7. That's already more. I'm not sure about the DigitalOcean. Actually, I will have to check the pricing listing there too once again. Let's see, products, droplets, standard, shared CPU. They don't really have their pricing here, do they? There we go, pricing. $5, so that's correct. And the pricing for Heroku is starting at $7, and it has less RAM and say 10 process types. I don't know what process types are. I haven't worked with Heroku, but it feels like you can only have 10 projects running no matter what. And that's already more money, less projects, and less RAM. So DigitalOcean, yes, you have to configure it yourself and everything. If you don't want to do it, totally worth the money on Heroku. No questions asked. I will do that for Heroku. I would even use for, say, client projects, because it's easier to create an account on Heroku, set up the project there, have it run, and then just give the account to the client and cut clean. You have no responsibilities anymore. You have been paid, you gave him the service and the project, done. It's easier with that. But for your own project, I think DigitalOcean is also a cool opportunity for you to learn how to set up servers if you want to, just to get to the point to run your projects. Not necessarily to really dive super deep into DevOps. However, I mean, depending on the projects you are running, you want to get like a little bit more advanced in terms of security and really have at least a second thought about how you can secure your server, which I have. My second thought is the user creation and how to limit the privileges of that user, right? But since I'm not a server administrator, I'm a software developer, it really just goes so far that I can only think of implementing securities or security, or do prevent, like implement things that prevent security breach based on what I know, right? Unless I start learning new stuff or reading into stuff and then figuring out, oh, there are even more things to care about, like firewall, whatnot. But yeah. And 25 bucks if you want to have more. That's interesting, just 512 or 1 gig? Because that's not much either. That's really little. Endless process types. That's gonna be up to 50 then for that much. Alright, anyway. This is 2019, this is 2016. Let's go with that. Is this even scaled down? It is. Okay. So that is a setup SSH access project setup guide, deployment guide. I've done that before. Supervisor, environment variables. Oh yeah, that was a pain. Basic commands. That was also how to set it up. And Unix, test config, reload, yes, interesting. That's for Vapor Berlin. That's to install Swift and Vapor, which we don't need because we will go for the Docker image provided by Vapor. Alrighty. Introduction. Adding and removing users on Linux systems is one of the most important system administration tasks to familiarize yourself with. Access to server running. Ensure that you have root access to your server to set up. Got you. Adding a user. So let's do that. New node. That's gonna be first. Gonna be second. Add user. Whoops. SSH onto server. Add user. Close that, open that. And if you are signed in as a non-root user, you have a user. You can use. Yeah, add user Martin Lasek. Either way, you'll be asked to seriously because I said to confirm a password of the new user. So that's that. Let's use let me save that onto my 1Password just in case. DigitalOcean Vapor 3. Got it. Login. Name root. Okay. Password. Got it. Full name? No. Room number? Work phone? Home phone. Who's having a landline? Is the user information correct? Yes. Alright. Skipped all of that. User is created. Your new user is now ready for use. You can now log in using the password that you entered. If you need your new user to have access to administrative functionality, continue on to the next section. Granting users sudo privileges. If your new user should have the ability to execute commands with root and administrative privileges, you will need to give the new user access to sudo. Adding user to a predefined sudo user groups and specifying privileges on per user basis is sudo configuration. Sudo user group. Adding the user to sudo group. Let's see how much we can do. Let's exit. This, we are now local. What we should be able to do is now say SSH and just right away this and enter a password. No, Martin Lasek, permission denied. Public key. Interesting. Is it because we copied? Oh, to root. Interesting. We should be copying to Martin Lazek, but this will not work because we have not enabled authentication. Exactly. Once again, so root would work, but I wonder if that's the issue. Let's try. Let's go to etc. It was SSH and then SSHD config, password authentication, yes. Whoops. So service restart, and let's try to say SSH copy ID here. I actually don't know because the S is in the home. Oh yeah, Martin Lazek should have its own home where no SSHT, there's no key set. So let's see if that will work now. That works, and it's so now we added the key there too, and now we should be able to do that. So we can now SSH as root and as Martin Lazek, but let me just document that too. Set up SSH key. Now set up SSH access for user Martin Lazek. Which is then first okay. So set up SSH access, create SSH key, basically set up SSH access for Martin Lazek. SSH onto the server. Got this. We are gonna say because now we have Martinizing, right? So now we can go copy and it's basically the same as here. So that should be it. Now we should be able to say SSH, since we have copied that, just the IP without anything, and just go onto the server. There we go. Awesome, we got it up and running. Cool, that's good. I think that's a good setup. We are on the server as root, log out. We're just local, and we can literally say SSH, whoops, 68, that one, just SSH and the IP, and we are on the server. And we can do whatever we want here. We are at home. Look at that, I can even use / now. That's only not possible on the web console. That's great. What do we have here? We have server only access by root. Wait a second. What was what? I don't remember, was this global? This was, let's see, if we go to server, I can go inside here. Can I create something? Test? No, I cannot. Okay, this is what we want. We want to be able to, inside here, we want to create a directory to be accessible. We have to read into the permissions for a global group, and there's a third one. I don't quite remember. That's what we have to read up. But that's gonna be the next step. I think we are already we came pretty far. And we also have a guide that actually is super short. If you remember how many pages we have flipped here and there and stuff, you know, we compressed it all into this simple guide, creating an SSH key, setting it up on the server, creating a user, and then accessing it from, you know, from here and whatnot. So let's rename that back to edit mode. Do I have cloud sync? Current library. Move your library into a Dropbox, iCloud Drive, Google Drive, or any other file-based cloud service to sync with other devices. Let's just move it to iCloud Drive then. Quiver. Let's delete these. Can I set it to here? Library. Move library. Oh, maybe this one. To iCloud Drive. Please don't break. Whew, I was shocked for a second. Let's open it. No way. Where is it? Shoot, did I delete? Put it back. Stop. Okay. Move library to desktop. I don't want to mess up my stuff right now. Moving library here. Put it back. Put this one back too. What's my... This is old. This is super old. I see inbox, all notes. Oh, there we go. Whew, I was shocked. But why? Okay, so I can delete those. And I should be able to say, if I open that one, Quiver preferences or Quiver, move library to literally iCloud Drive. Save it there. And then say all notes. Got it. So it's here. It's synced. Angel. Yeah, I was shocked for a moment. All my snippets, but they are there. Okay. Hey, it's a good point to wrap up the live stream. The achievement of today is we have set up our server so we can access it from local, and from here we can start working towards setting up everything that is needed. I will have to read into what is the next step, whether it is installing Docker so we can run our Docker images and run a project just for testing even. We could run our new website for testing too. So yeah, hey everyone, thanks for joining the live stream and have a great night. Hopefully see you tomorrow. I'm gonna be here. So have fun if your day is still ongoing, and again, have a good night if you are ending your day. Let me peace out. See you tomorrow, Angel. Always glad to have you around. Bye, guys.